Hello guys. Before we get started, I just want to mention that there was an audio problem while I was recording, so the only thing that you can hear is my voice and not the sounds. I will be cutting the mix part, and there's no way that I'm re-recording this because it is, again, over half an hour. So I'm sorry, but it's just how it's going to be. Hello guys, it is me K42, and I know it's been a really long time since I've done a mod review. But I got a request from Incredibox Animator. He really wanted me to do this, and so I decided, yeah, I'll do it for him because, it's for a friend. And I'm also really excited for this mod because it's based off of a track from Sorrow, who is a loop station beatboxer. As some of you might know, I have a loop station as well. So it's really cool to see something like this. And yeah, so this will be the first time I experience any of these sounds that weren't in like a teaser or anything. I am using web page because it when I downloaded the mobile version, the cropping wasn't right, so I actually couldn't play it. So let's just start with beat one. Yep, it's about right. It's been a little while, so I don't really know what to say. I've kind of lost my critiquing edge here. Pretty basic kick, but it's also, replicating something. The animation is pretty clean. I like the character design, very neat. Um, the animation is just a little bit well, no. The head movements, it's not the same. It's not just like going down and up every single time. There is like fluent movement between. So that one works really well. Let's go to beat two. This is the shaker and the hi-hat. Again, pretty, actually, really, very accurate to the actual thing here. I think the snare, I think it's more of a spit snare, but no, that's pretty good. It's pretty accurate to it. Animation, very unique for the most part with the eyes, and character design, for me, a little confusing. Not necessarily bad, but also not really for me. I don't really see much to it. I just feels a little random to me. Not really my cup of tea, I'd say, but yeah. Let's move on to B3. All the sounds I will be judging based on how closely they are really resembled. Okay. It's been a little while since I've actually listened to Piège. Actually, no, it hasn't. I rewatched MB14 versus Sorrow, I think last week. I do not remember this sound, but I also don't remember like it too much. I do know it was the second round against MB14, but I don't remember this sound really at all. Um, but obviously, when you're trying to make mods like this, you want to have some creative freedom so you're not just one copying. So something like this would work very well. Very nice concept. Nobody's done a grandfather clock, and it's a great concept. Um, um, that's pretty. It's actually I didn't even notice that. That's probably why it's not full here. Um, that's actually that's actually better. Makes it better. Okay, that makes sense. No, that's pretty good. Good concept, good animation. Let's go into effect beat four. I don't remember this either, but I wouldn't put it past him. It's just my memory. If it's not really just like, oh, it wasn't there, it's kind of my memory. I'm pretty sure this was something, at least something around these lines were probably used. It might have been, I think, Sorrow doing solo. Again, despite being pretty recent, my memory's really fuzzy when it comes really to anything. Animation is very unique, very good, I'd say. And then character design is actually really good. I actually really like the character design. It's yeah, I like the character design. Yeah, I need to touch more on that because I personally like it like better. Like this looks really good. Like this, the glasses and the shirt. It's really hitting for me. I really like this. Yeah, you can tell that it's since it's been a while. I've kind of lost my critiquing edge a little bit, and I kind of suck at speaking. So let's go to B5. Phew. I also don't remember this one. I don't think this one is actually part of it. Again, this is kind of taking that creative freedom because with a loop station, especially in the GBB at 2017, the amount of like of sounds that you can actually use like for like each individual thing, like there's only so many beats and only so many effects and melodies and voices that you can do. So I think this is one where he took where IA took his own freedoms and tried something, and it's really good. It sounds fits really. I'd say it sounds pretty good. Probably fits pretty well. Character design is is not really super unique, but it does look pretty good. Looks all right. I don't know. I think the black coming from the eyes makes sense, and the animation's actually really good with the eyes and the mouth as well. Like the one eye and the explosion. That's actually a really good one there. Let's go into effects. Effect one. Um. Okay. Pretty good base. I actually really like the character design, the glasses and the shirt. But in this moment, so he's holding the same face, with the head moving a little bit back and forth and then the nose flaring, but it stays at like the same way, but it's cutting back in and out. So so it's staying the same, kind of like he's holding a single note, but it's cutting in and out. Um, but other than that, the animation for a bass is pretty good. Let's go into effect two. Okay. So for this one, it's pretty close to accurate when it came to it. I think the only critique I can come to with the sound is at the very end, instead of oh no 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 oh no. I think it should have been how it goes. Didn't it go like that in the teaser for this spot as well? Oh no 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 no. Because I feel like I do remember it going oh no 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 no. Like the ending, instead of going into a low note, it gets more scattered. No, 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 kind of like something. I think you guys can get what I mean, but I also thought this was going to be a melody, considering that it's an arpeggio, but um, not. Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that it is a melody. I mean, no, an effect. I really thought it was going to be a melody, considering it's an arpeggio. The animation works really well. It has a nice concept where the eyes, each note, go around in circles. Um, And I also like the dollar signs. Very good animation. And the character design, the shirt is really good. I wouldn't say the top is really me, but it is really good. The top is a really good design. It's just not really my kind of idea. It's not really my cup of tea, but the shirt is really good. Let's move on to Effect 3. I don't remember that. Um, the sound concept, the and the animation concept and the design concept were really good. This is really well executed. It was a great concept and it was well executed. This is actually really good. Not the sound isn't really for me, but the everything like everything that comes to it, it actually works really well. Let's listen to it again. Works really well. Don't remember it, but that works really well. Let's go to 4 effect. Okay, I think we're actually lagging a little bit. I think we actually are lagging. Yeah, I think there was a little bit laggy there. Good concept. I think for the most part it was well executed up until it was well executed except for the part where it's just the Incrediman. Like that. I think it was just a lag actually. Let's watch it again. Okay, so no lag. Okay. So again, I think it does work a little bit better than when it was lagging, but again, I don't think that's the face it would really make. For me, I personally think it would have been a different face, but concept really good concept for animation and it was well executed for the most part. And the character design is actually really sick and also unique. This was actually like really good concept. Thinking way outside the box with that one. Let's go to effect 5. So it's kind of like at the beginning, it's a hi-hat snare combo. Let me, okay. I think this should have been an effect with this being a beat because they really just should be flopped around considering that this has like a more beat elements and this has a little bit more effect elements. Or at least this has more beat elements than this. Let me actually listen to this one again. Okay. That I actually no, this should be I don't know. But nice concept. Pretty well executed. I like the shirt. I'm not a big fan of the head, but that's just my personal opinion. Um the sound, other than some of the parts kind of sounding like the that one guy that like that one voice. I think it was voice 3 from Void. Like kind of sounds like him and maybe the pumpkin guy as well. But this is also another sound that's just like using creative freedom instead of something, strictly based off the track, but it's not too bad, but not really my cup of tea. Let's go to Melody 1. I don't remember anything kind of like this. Kind of sounds like a voice, but not too bad, I'm going to be honest. Um Sounds good. I don't remember too much something like this. Um, I do remember like the doo 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 and the stuff like that. I don't remember something like this. Um, I also remember the drop. But this is actually really good. Oh shit. Okay, back to what we were talking about before I was rudely interrupted. Concept at the top is really good. It's kind of like a deer. Animation I think in some parts I think it should be a little bit more simplistic, like at the beginning. So everything's white. That's really good. But then it changes to only two eyes being purple. I think that's just a little bit too complex. It's just kind of adding more just for the sake of it. I think it would have been better if throughout the first half, well, it was just purely white. Because sometimes it's just unnecessary to add details. And then this works. I think everything should have stayed white just to keep a level of simplicity. Like, you don't want to go, everything should be, like, all the eyes should be one color. It may be two at the top are purple and two on the bottom are white, but like, they shouldn't change colors each just to keep things not too complex. But in the character design, the only problem I have is the arms and how they curve and kind of how, oh, I don't know if they're necessarily skinny, but I don't really like the curve. Other than that, it's pretty good. Let's move on to melody too. Again, kind of like a voice. Um, Animation is pretty good. Concept was pretty good with the eyes. Shirt is pretty good. I'd say the upper part is pretty good as well. Um, and then adding that little burst with those white. I think again, kind of adding unnecessary details just to be more complex. I know it'll work with some people, like, children being like, oh, there's more. But for a more sophisticated audience, that's just a little too complex. Sometimes you want to keep it complex but simplistic. You got to remember that this is for Incredibox. Incredibox rarely doesn't like stuff like that, um, unless it's really kind of warranted. Like for Beat One and Dystopia, that was like warranted because it's a gas mask and it's spitting out steam. But this just kind of seems like you're adding more just for the sake of it. But again, good. It sounds pretty all right. Again, don't really remember it, but it sounds pretty good for the most part. But again, it's kind of more of like a voice. The first two melodies are can kind of fit in the voice category. But again, there are some instances like that, like Melody One and V9 can technically be in the voices, but that's besides the point. Let's move on to Melody 3. Again, kind of like a voice. I know it's kind of choppy, like what is it? Voice? Is it Voice 4? It's either Voice 4 or Voice 5 from Bonfire, where it's a bit choppy at the beginning. I mean, if you were to do that on a loop station, you'd be using the slicer effect, which I've actually used pretty well in this kind of same sense. I'd use it to use like custom kind of shakers. Again, don't really remember that from the actual track. Um, and again, sounds kind of like a voice, but a little, it's more processed than the first two, so I'd imagine it works a little bit better in this category. But character design, I actually like the top. The bottom is a bit simplistic, but that's good. We don't want over complication here. But I actually really like the glasses concept here. How it's kind of like a little dome there. I actually really enjoy that. Let's move on to Melody 4. Again, don't remember that. A lot of these sounds I don't remember. I think these two should really be replaced, like, because this isn't. This seems. Hold on. This one seems like more of an effect, and this one's just. I feel like. Okay, let me speak personally here. Just straight up a melody. Just straight up a melody. One is straight up a melody. Um, because it's an arpeggio. I know it's kind of like a little bit of a lower tone, but that's definitely a melody. I don't really. I feel like there's some of these like these two are definitely in these cases these two should definitely be switched. Like one should be in melodies and the other should be in effects. But let's talk about this. Concept was pretty good. For character design, it actually looks pretty good. Animation, I'd say, is all right. You got the little flare, and then the eye changing. I don't really know if the eye changing is necessary, but it is not too bad. It's not too complex either. It is pretty good, and I do like the sound for the most part. Let's go into Melody 5. Okay. Concept for the animation on that second part is actually really good, and the character design right here for the concept is actually really good. The concept for the animation is pretty neat, where it just starts changing in different ways. Again, it's in the same vein as these guys, where it's the kind of like the voice we heard in that one teaser, da, 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 at the very end. Um, but I kind of expected it to be the trumpet, the like I kind of expected that for the melody, but and the dun 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 dun. Or am I thinking a different one? I feel no, that's got to be Pietri. I can't be thinking of a different one. Am I thinking of the wrong one? I might be thinking of the wrong one. I need to hold on. After I could finish with all these sounds, I'm gonna look up Pietre and see if I'm actually remembering correctly. Because if I do remember correctly, it's the second round he used against MB14. But let's go to voice one. Yeah, again, in the same vein as what is it? This guy and I think was it this guy? I think a little bit. Not too bad. I actually like the shirt. It's simplistic in the head, but not too bad. The voice is pretty good. Like it's that kind of loop is getting a little repetitive, but um, I do like the it does sound good. Let's go to voice 4. I mean 2. I do understand the voice, like what he's saying, and I do understand the concept behind it. But I also I do not like when mods have like the whisper voice, like like how I think doesn't hmm, doesn't pretty sure Void had that kind of guy with the TV. I just don't like it. Like that, and also that the combo of reverb is kind of really basic. I'm gonna be honest. I like you don't see Incredibox doing that. You don't see them having voice. I know that it adds something to it to these mods, but really I don't understand it. I don't like that they keep on that that whispers really kind of always show up. Like I guess they're not necessarily bad, but it's kind of like you can get away with talking instead of singing. Um, it really just doesn't sound the best. Character design looks pretty good. Nice concept. Got the earring as well. Let's move on here. Let's go to voice 3. That's the voice we heard in the teaser. Um, Again, kind of adding that like thing, like how voice to how a lot of mods also do this as well, where they kind of add lore. Well, not really lore, but they kind of put like threats in here in their voices as well, which is something I also don't really like. Like I'm pretty sure RB series did it. Um, Void definitely did it, and now this. I don't really like it as well. It's kind of a weird concept, but I actually really like this. I think this kind of like a sports fan, like a football fan. Like what is it? Yeah, football fan. I'm talking universal football, not American football. Um, looks like one of those fans. I actually really like the character design. It's just the voice at the very beginning is good, but I feel like it falls a little bit off at the end, like in terms of lyrics. Let's move on to voice 4. Yeah, again with the your own fear. Kind of again with that same kind of instilling, kind of like how the players in danger or something, or I don't know. It's not in the same vein as the others, but I like the little slicer effects, but it's all right. I don't really have much. Oh, a character design. Animation's pretty basic. It's just the mouth movements. Not too bad, honestly. That's what Voice 1 and V9 did. It was literally only the mouth and the head bobbing in different ways. I like the use of the backward hat, how it's here, but it's also different. I like the shirt. Really, actually, just the shirt, its simplicity works really well. The simplistic like the simplicity in this design actually works really well. I think it's better than all the like most of the others because of just its simplicity. Like it's not overly complex. Let's move on to voice 5. I didn't really understand the lyrics too much. It again with I don't really like the audio mixing with this voice. It's kind of got like a very upfront vocal, which is good, but then a deeper, like a little too deep, like not deep as in like a deep voice, but like put like a really deep effect on it and it made it really grainy. I don't really like the sound of it too much. I do like the shirt. It's really nice. The top not so much. And I think it was kind of the same vein as this guy in the lyrics, which again, not the biggest fan of, but I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect much from the voices knowing the actual track, but I expected other melodies to be in here. Like the na 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 na. Hold on, wrong one. I'm wait, hold on. Okay. But I expected other sounds to be in here, and if I'm gonna be 100% honest, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with this mod compared to the actual track because there's a lot of things that could have been utilized that were just not. And there was way more creative freedom than there actually was like stuff that I'd say is from the thing. I'm gonna be right back. Oh, wait, no. You guys, it won't be really long for you guys, but I'm gonna go listen to the entirety of Piège, Piège. I don't know how to pronounce it, but because it is French, but I'm gonna come back and just really comment on it. So, I just listened to the entire track, and again, it was exactly what I was thinking. So, based on the sounds that were in that video, a lot of these, like a lot of the bigger sounds were just not used. Like the trumpets, there was way I feel like with this since it was a recreation mod, there was way too much freedom like taken, like too many like original ideas. Like I get to an extent like it's good to have original ideas and it not everything be copied. Like Travis did it. It's a good thing because you don't want everything to be a copy and you want it, to at least be somewhat unique. But I feel like with this mod, it took way too much freedom. Like only a certain amount of these sounds are actually from it. Like I think all of the voices are like not from it. It's 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 just a little bit too much freedom and a lot of sounds were just not utilized. Like the trumpet would have worked great. Um what is it? That That two sound loop would have worked as well. I know it wouldn't have been much, but it would have been, at least accurate. So, in terms of actually like replicating, I'm not very impressed. Well, no, I'm just a little underwhelmed. Something I also want to touch on that I missed is this. The icon is red, and there's actually the only red is like so high in tone that it doesn't even look like red. That is supposed to be purple. This has a little bit of purple. I'll let it slide. Purple, purple, has a little bit of purple. That has just a bit of a green. Shouldn't slide, but it does. Just want to point out something here is an icon inefficiency. I mean, all of these have blue, so I think we're good on that. And I just gotta go through all the voices as well. I think it might just be with two sounds, but it's really just no, that works because the hat is. Wait, what? Hold on a minute. What? This icon looks nothing like the actual sound. So that's also icon problem. This has so little red. I'll count it, but it's too high pitch of red. So this one's icon is not even the same. Like that, what is that? That's not it. I think he forgot. It might have been something different and forgot to change it. Um, this is purple or pink or purple, and there's zero pink or purple on this character. And the only red on here is so bright in tone and kind of closer more to pink than it is to actually red, and it's almost entirely blue. So with this, if you're gonna have like icons with like set color themes, you gotta at least try to okay, you gotta try to stick to those kind of color schemes and not stray too far away because sometimes it just won't make sense. Like like this. This is almost zero red. This has zero pink, and this one I think you just kind of forgot. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for that. But I think that's everything, and I think I can call it. It's gonna be another long one, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.